about a month out from the start of the NHL season. Training camps are just starting around the league. We're getting pretty excited for the NHL season to start, but rather than just doing a normal episode that like every other podcast and everyone out there does of just breaking down a season preview of what to expect from the teams, we do something a little different here. So this year we're going to be doing something a little bit more fun. We're going to be doing a competition called Points. It's going to be me, Andy, and my brother, who is our co-host of the show, obviously, and then our two best buddies, Ty and Kenny. What we do is, in this episode, we do 2 mini drafts where we each get to draft 6 teams and 4 players that will make up our own team. And pretty much what we'll do is we'll combine the points throughout the season that the players get and the teams get and make it a competition of 1v1v1v1. So in this episode, you'll see us drafting our teams and our players for this competition. While we're doing the drafts, we kind of break down our expectations for the team's season that they're going to have. And we hope you enjoyed the episode.
It's all about the points. The points.
So next to me we have Kenny here. My name is Griffin. We have Andrew, who's the other co-host, and then we have our buddy T-Vac here as well. So to determine the draft order, we're going to do the teams first. They think it's funny right now, so they're laughing. So to determine the draft order, what's so funny, you guys?
I'm just laughing at Kenny.
Yeah,
I didn't do anything.
Hold on, just talk. Make sure you're talking to the mic though, because
I'm just laughing at Kenny.
So to determine the draft order, I'm going to put this hard pressure on Kenny. We have all of our names on a piece of paper. We're going to put it in the hat. And the 4th pick of the draft, Kenny's picking one out of the hat. And tell me who you get. That will be the 4th pick. Andy! It will be the 4th pick.
Is it a snake draft? Or?
Yep.
Nope, not a snake draft.
The 3rd pick will be
normal, and I get to pick 2 in the first round. That's not normal. Griff!
I am the 3rd pick. Yeah. The 2nd pick in the draft will be...
This is going to seem so rigged.
It's time.
What is this?
And I get to pick first.
And the first pick will go to Kenny. So, the first pick, but then for the players, it'll go the other way. So then it'll be Andy has the first pick, I have so it'll just be a complete flip. So
that's fine then.
So for the first pick of our points draft, we'll be following it all year, keeping track. Kenny, who is the first team, and what color? Just for the team color, what is your first team and color of your choice?
I want to be the green team.
Green team, okay.
And
he didn't prepare, so he's gonna go on the spot.
I mean, what do we
feel like you know what? I'm gonna take the hometown team here. I'm gonna go with Carolina.
Interesting. Okay. So the Carolina Hurricanes last year they had 111 points. They were second in the Metro. So you think they're going to follow it up with an even better year? You think they'll be the President's Trophy winner?
Yeah, they're going to be sick.
All right.
Season ticket holder here.
So,
okay.
Season ticket holder here, 9 years running.
But you guys did say the rink kind of isn't that great, though.
Yeah,
right?
the rink sucks.
Guys,
we did go to a Game 7 there, though.
We did, yeah, Game 7.
That's when you know it should be a great rink if you go to a Game 7.
Well, it was good atmosphere, but I thought the rink was going to crumble beneath my feet.
Yeah.
But you think that they'll be the best team in the NHL this year, apparently, huh?
Yep.
All right, Ty, with the 2nd pick in the draft, please pick a team and a color that you would like to have.
I'll be blue, and I want the Oilers, please.
Nice. Dark blue or light blue?
Just whatever that royal blue is on there.
Royal blue. So Edmonton lost in the Stanley Cup Finals last year. They were the 2nd team in the Pacific with 104 points. And you think that they'll be the 2nd best team this year, huh?
Yeah, I didn't want Florida, so that was next.
That was next, okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next up, let me just get rid of this here. Next up is me. I'm going to be team yellow, and I will be taking, I'm going to go with the Florida Panthers. I think that's a safe pick because although they did lose a few pieces, they are returning a good amount of players. They have some experience now. I think they're going to be the real deal again, pretty much. So my pick will be the Florida Panthers. So Andy,
Oh yeah.
what color team are you going to be, and what is your first team's choice as well?
I'll be red, and my pick is Colorado.
Colorado. All right. What are you expecting for Colorado this year?
Well, they won a few years ago. It's been a couple years since. They're still one of the best teams in the league. They've been right up there the whole time, and their top players are not, old or beyond their peak. McKinnon, McCarr, all those guys are still there ranting in. So I think it's been some time, and they'll win another cup.
Well, yeah. Last year they were the third place team in the Central, but that Central division was real tough. So they could definitely be up to having another good year. So you also have the 5th pick. So who is your 5th pick in the draft?
Who do you think I'm going to take, Kenny?
Well, because you asked me, I think now you're going to take the Rangers.
I'm going to take Toronto.
All right.
Boo. Nice.
What are you expecting from Toronto this year?
I think their new coach, along with Matthews wearing the C, and some other things will come together for them, and they will finally make a deep run and hopefully win the cup.
It's not a bad pick. I mean, they'll get enough points for their annual first-round exit.
Yeah.
Last
We know
year-
they'll make the playoffs.
Last year they were definitely in the toughest division of the Atlantic, and they were still able to be the third place team behind Florida and Boston. So Andrew took them. So my second pick, I will be taking the Dallas Stars. So Dallas was the first place team in that tough Central division with 113 points. I think that they're going to be even better this year. I think they got some good experience in the playoffs, but I think that they're going to come back with vengeance with a year that's hoping for nothing but success because they have a team that has been to the Stanley Cup Finals with some vet experience. Their young guys are getting better and better every year. I think this year Dallas is going to be a real good team. So Ty, who is your your second pick in your for your team?
I'll take the Preds.
The Preds, okay. They got a new team, huh? With the signing of Jonathan Marchessault, Steven Stamkos, and Brady Shea. Is that what you're liking about them?
Yeah, I like that a lot. I wish Stamkos wouldn't have went there, but
Yeah, that's a whole new team. They have so many new pieces.
What, you wish Stamkos would have went to the Wings or something?
yeah, well, I like all three of those guys, but I don't like the Predators, so
But you think they'll be good because you're taking them second overall, huh?
yeah, but they're gonna be good. So
Yeah. So me and Ty went to a Nashville game last year against Detroit, and it was 1-0.
yeah.
We bet the money line for the Wings, and it was a great game. And then with 5 minutes left, Nashville pulled
Forsberg.
away. So
Even though Mo Sider beat Forsberg's ass.
very true.
So
Sider did beat him up pretty good. So Kenny, who's your second pick in the draft?
Andy, who do you think I'm going to pick?
Devils.
The Islanders?
Dude, no.
Just do it, man.
I'm picking the Rangers.
The New York Rangers. What are you expecting from the Rangers this year, Ken? They were the first place team. They actually were the President's Trophy last year. So what are you expecting from the New York Rangers this year?
Just their typical dominant selves with, Shesterkin in net. They can easily win
With the way the
90 games.
with the way the system works, they're going to be playing each other often. So you have two teams from the same division. So let's see who you're taking third in the draft.
How do you think that's
I didn't really come out with that.
Somebody's got to lose.
Didn't realize that.
So you're thinking just go to overtime.
That's good.
Just a subtle shot by Griff, just worded it so passively. He's like, well, you've got two teams in the same division.
Hey,
And you know what?
are you awake?
Give me Vancouver.
That is a great pick.
It's a good pick.
Vancouver last year, they hired Rick Tocchet a couple of years ago to come in and kind of change the foundation of that team because they had so much talent there and it seemed like they were missing that one piece, and I think that last year they kind of took a step forward and Tocchet allowed them to get there. They actually won their division. Their conference, their division here. So I'm very curious to see how they go this year. With Edmonton, LA, and Vegas all in their division, I'm curious to see how they go. I mean, they won a playoff series last year. and they I think they won. I think they beat Nashville, didn't they?
Honestly, it was like a whole other
It was a long
time
time
period.
ago, but
Well, it wouldn't matter that the Rangers and the Canes are in the same
it
conference.
shouldn't matter too much. It's just funny because
Well, they're in the same division,
they're just in the same division.
and
they're
so
gonna
only one of them will go beyond the second round.
The playoffs?
but this one, this
Playoffs don't matter.
Oh yeah, we're playing
this
drafted.
contest
You're
was
right.
regular season. It shouldn't matter too much. It's just
Yeah.
it was just funny. But
Real quiet from y'all now.
Yeah, so
Well, I
that won't
think
actually matter.
I
at
think
all.
the point was like that they're gonna play each other a lot.
Yeah.
and
that
was
is
How many times will they play each other?
17 at least.
yeah, I think 8 times.
100?
100.
It's true.
All right, Ty, who is your third pick? Right now you have Edmonton and Nashville.
All right. This may be a little early, but I'm optimistic, and I don't think they're gonna get back to me, so I'm going Wings.
Nice. Okay. What are you expecting from the Wings this year, Ty?
So yeah, I think they're gonna make the playoffs. So
Okay.
I think maybe win a round,
Really?
but they're gonna make the playoffs for sure.
Well, for the sake of this draft, they say that the average wild card team gets at least 93 to 94 points. So it's a pretty good amount of points.
Yeah, they're gonna
91 last year.
Yeah, they're gonna do that for sure. So
You think they'll get at least 93?
yeah.
Who do you think, if they make the playoffs, who do you think will come out of the playoffs?
I think
Toronto, Tampa.
I think it's Tampa,
Tampa? You
Yeah.
think Tampa's coming out?
which would be sick.
Yeah, especially with the Iser plan coming along and everything, right? Like you said, what did you say earlier? You were talking about the 10 years?
Yeah, they said like it took 10 years for Yzerman to build Tampa, and now we're on like what 6 or 7 of the Wings,
Right.
and it would just be funny if that was the team that got bumped out when the Wings get in.
100%.
So
There you go.
we're rooting for that.
We are rooting for
And
the
we just got
Wings.
cider today.
If I lose to you in this competition of points because the Red Wings did really, really, really good, I'm okay with that. All right, so
yeah.
my next pick, I am going to be going with the Vegas Golden Knights. So what I'm expecting from Vegas is another bounce back year. Kind of a letdown based off of how good they've been since 2018. I feel like they've always been, top of the leaderboards and rankings at all times. But just based off of last year, although they were able to they were still a wild card team for the playoff. They only had 98 points, which is, like I said, a little bit lower for them than previous years. So I think they're going to come back. They got Ilya Samsonov now in net, which isn't going to be the best signing ever, but I'm optimistic that hopefully he'll fit in there now that he's not in that tough Toronto market. So I think Vegas could actually be pretty good, so they're going to be my third team. So Andrew, in the snake draft, you got the next 2 picks. Who are we taking?
I'll take New Jersey with my first one. I think that's a team that'll probably be in the mix for the next, decade. They have so many young players, and they're a team that's been right at the border of it for the last few years. Last year they didn't even make the playoffs. But
What were you saying about their odds earlier? You were saying
yeah, they're the third best odds going into this season, which is a little high from what I would say, but still they finished, according to last year, they were 23rd in the league. I mean, I would put them top 10 for sure in the league this year.
Especially with the new coach coming in, Sheldon Keefe, that'll be
Yep.
cool to see. So
Damn, I didn't know that.
yeah, we're actually us four. We're the ones who go on the NHL road trip, and we're going to New Jersey. So that'll be good to see live and everything, especially with the potential they have of Jack Hughes, Luke Hughes, Nico Hischier. They got Andre Palat. They got a good roster. So I think that's a good solid third pick. So who is your 4th round pick?
I don't want them, but I'll take them for the sake of this. I'll take Boston. I don't want to necessarily root for Boston. They've won enough, and they're a difficult city to root for in general, just because they've won so much in our lives. But they are a good team.
I think all 4 of us are generally pretty positive, supportive sport fans, and we can cheer on anyone. I think we all can agree that we hate the Bruins.
Yeah, you could tell all of us were avoiding the Bruins because
Oh,
Andy just got them in the 4th.
In the 4th round.
Yeah, and they're a good team every
And
year.
last
they're
year they
sick.
literally were
Right.
top 5 in the league.
Yeah.
They're real good. But with Boston, I like to think that they're going to take a step back, but I thought they were going to take a step back 2 years ago, and they broke the record for most points in the season. So it's
Yeah.
really hard to root against Boston. That sports town is just always has successful teams of some sort. So I think Boston's a solid pick. So my 4th round pick. So each of us get 6 teams for the first for the competition and 4 players. So we are now in the 4th round. So my 4th pick, I'm going to be going with Utah Hockey Club.
Oh,
So
Damn.
here's my reason
dude.
behind them.
I was
Okay.
gonna try to get them last.
Really?
Yeah.
So
flyer.
my thing is that last year they weren't great. They had only 77 points as the Arizona Coyotes. They got Mikhail Sergachev. They got a couple other good pieces, a new environment. I don't know. Just with Seattle's first year, they were a decent team. Vegas' first year, they went to the Stanley Cup. I just feel, I know it's not an expansion team. It's a rebrand or a relocation. But I truly think Utah might take a couple steps forward. And maybe I'm being optimistic because I want to see it happen. And although I am very, very annoyed that they are not purple, the fact that they're light blue, black, and white, great color choices, but how is there 32 NHL teams and no purple teams? So although I'm a little
Purple
salty
would've
about
been
that, and also
They need a name.
I'm a little salty they don't have a name.
Yeah,
how are you
that's-
gonna? How are you the Utah Hockey Club?
That
I
is
don't
stupid.
like that at all.
What are your thoughts on that, Ken?
I actually don't mind it.
Really?
Yeah.
You're fine with them being Utah Hockey Club?
Yeah, it's actually, I don't know, I think it's kind of cool.
Well, Ken's always like he's like the football team too, so.
I don't like. No, I don't. No, I don't.
So I don't know. I think Utah's a solid pick there for them. But Ty, who is your 4th round pick?
I went to LA Kings.
Solid
Just
pick.
looking at them for
Please.
me.
I
So-
saw that they have New Jerseys, so I'm in on the Kings this year.
Well, they're in the Pacific Division last year. They finished with 99 points. They were in the race of trying to get in a wild card spot or a conference spot with the Vegas Golden Knights, and they actually ended up doing it. So yeah, they had a win percentage of 604. Their goal differential was plus 41, which is a lot for a team that only had 99 points. So I mean, relatively, Nashville had 99 points, and their goal differential was half of that. So I think the LA Kings could do some damage. I'm curious to see how they go. They got rid of Pierre-Luc Dubois and brought in a new goalie, so I think that could be a piece that could definitely help them get a couple extra points. So I think it's a solid pick. All right, Kenny, you got the next 2 picks. Who are we thinking?
I'm kind of surprised that they made it this far, but I'm gonna take the Jets.
The Winnipeg Jets.
Unless there's something I don't know about.
No, I'm actually kind of, now
I'm
that I'm
very
thinking
surprised
about
as
it,
well.
They finished with 110 points, and last year in the entire league they were 4th, and they dropped this far. I don't know why I didn't take them sooner. I don't know why these guys didn't take them sooner, but yeah, I mean, they always seem to get points. That's a good
shot.
pick.
Thanks, man. And then
was
I'm
200
running out of
on the
picks.
wings.
Is Calgary gonna be any good? Can I get a little feedback?
Last year they took a step back, and they only had 81 points, and they lost their best goalie.
Is he gonna be back?
No, he went to New Jersey.
It's not an awful
I
pick.
thought-
If we look at it, we're all taking 6 teams. That's 24 teams total, and they finished
You know
24th
what?
last
I'm
year,
not
so it's
gonna
not
do it.
totally
You get the
bad.
Senators now.
I'm gonna go with.
Ew, who wants the Senators?
Damn, this is kind of tough. I'm gonna go with the Seattle Kraken.
I think that's a very solid pick.
I like
I
it.
think they're gonna. I think they're gonna surprise everybody.
Well, the thing
You
with
do?
Seattle is that their first year, everyone had high hopes for them and expectations because of Vegas having such success their first year, and it wasn't a letdown because they still had a good first season. And then the second year they came back with their coach. What is it? It's Hextall, I think, right?
It was Hackstall.
Hackstall, yeah. And they went on to win a playoffs, to make the playoffs and win a playoff series. So theirs took a little bit longer than Vegas. And then last year, they only had 81 points, but they signed Brandon Montour, who just won a Stanley Cup with Florida. They also just got Chandler Stevenson, a new first-line center. I think, wow, I'm actually kind of annoyed because I kind of want Seattle.
I
So
was going to take them next.
that's a very, very good pick. So
Sorry guys, you just don't have puck knowledge
Yeah,
like me.
Ken knows puck.
Like
yeah,
Ken
no
knows
puck.
Ken does no puck.
Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe if I have puck knowledge.
Leave a
Like
comment
and
down
subscribe.
below.
Comment down below something nice about me.
comment down below. All right, Ty, who is your 5th team? You have 2 teams left.
I'll take the Capitals.
The Washington Capitals, okay.
Yeah.
This is also another team that we are going to be watching live at their home place. We're going to go see Ovechkin live. So What are your thoughts with Washington? Are you expecting them to make the playoffs, miss the playoffs? Do you think they're just focusing on OV scoring? Like, what are your thoughts with them?
Yeah, I
briefly?
think that's kind of what everyone thought last year is they're just going to kind of run around and watch OV chase down Gretzky, but
They still made the playoffs.
Made the playoffs, so he'll probably be
Unfortunately.
around the same story this year.
With the worst way to make the playoffs, knocking out the Wings.
Yeah,
Remember that?
sucked real bad.
Yeah,
When
last
Philly
game.
had to pull their goalie.
That was like a minute after Perron's goal.
At the time, it was just brutal. But all right, my next pick in the draft, I'm going to be taking the Philadelphia Flyers. So my thought process with Philly is they were in the contention with the Detroit Red Wings and the Washington Capitals to make the playoffs for that last wild card spot. I don't know. I trust the process with John Tortorella. I think although some of his coaching tactics are a little more old school and can be criticized pretty easily, I think that he does know how to win. So I think Philly is a pretty solid pick. So yeah, I'm going to be taking the Philadelphia Flyers. Andy, you have 2 more picks left. These are your final 2 picks. Who are you taking with your final, in your 5th round pick?
We'll go from Philly to their in-state rival. We'll go to the Penguins.
It's good.
I'm surprised that Griff didn't just take the Penguins. I thought for sure he was taking them in this pick.
Huge Boston and Pittsburgh guy.
This one's simple. It's Crosby and all his guys. So,
and he's got
just re-signed. I mean, he's coming up on another season, 2-year deal there. He's not just going to let that whole team just go to nothing. They're going to at least compete as long as he's there. So I'll say Pittsburgh, and then I'll take a flyer on this one, but I'll say the Blackhawks.
Interesting. Okay.
Just because they have so many young players, obviously led by Bedard, and they're not going to necessarily win the cup. I don't even know if they'll necessarily make the playoffs this year, but some of these teams in this competition that we're choosing aren't going to make the playoffs, and I think they'll be more in that middle tier this year as opposed to just like the very bottom.
I like that, especially with Bedard taking a step or two. They just signed new captain Nick Foligno. They got the 2nd overall pick. I don't even know how to say his name, so I'm not going to try it. But he's from Michigan State, actually. Go Green.
Go White.
So I'm curious to see what Chicago does this year as well. So
Griff's a state guy now.
I know. So
Let's go.
So my 6th and final pick of the draft, I'll be taking, which I'm kind of surprised I fell this far, is the Tampa Bay Lightning. So although I know it's kind of on the same boat as Andy said for Boston, we're not. I mean, they're in the Red Wings and the Toronto's division, so I don't really want them to do great. I hope I'm wrong, but they still did get 98 points last year, 13th in the league. So I do think that they will have another good season. I hope that they've missed the playoffs, or at least if they have to make the playoffs, I hope the Wings do too, obviously. But I will be taking the Tampa Bay Lightning. So Ty, Kenny, you guys both have one more pick. Ty, who is your last pick in the draft?
I'll take Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Shout out Biggie.
it's a very interesting team to talk about because some people say they're going to take 3 steps forward. Some people say they're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. So you're thinking that they're going to be closer to the 3 steps forward?
Yeah, I like what they're doing over there in Montreal. So,
What exactly are they doing?
They're building.
Well, they're rebuilding.
It's a so young.
It's a
They're
slow
building.
burn over there.
They got a couple goalies who actually will be able to stop the puck. Primo is getting a little bit better. They got Martin St. Louis, who's
Yeah,
their
they have a
coach.
great coach.
They got
Who's a
that
stud.
really young kid that played in the
Caulfield.
last. Oh yeah, Caulfield.
They have
But
Caulfield,
remember that kid
Suzuki.
that came in the last couple of games of the year against the Wings?
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about, but I'm annoyed I can't think of his name. I'm just not in total hockey mode yet, but yeah.
And then that Slavkovsky guy.
Yeah, he just
scored
signed
like
a big
million
contract.
goals in that series too.
Yep. He
Not
just signed a
series,
nice
but-
ticket, so he's going to be feeling comfortable. Oh, they just got Patrick Laine too.
Oh really?
That's a good
Yeah,
pick.
that
Damn.
could be a very interesting, a whole interesting team there, especially with him. I mean, he could be one of the big storylines of the season if he comes out hot.
Patrick Laine was, when he was drafted 2nd overall behind Austin Matthews, those first few years, people were saying he's going to be in contention with Austin Matthews for best goal scorer of that draft. And unfortunately, Patrick Laine's had some injuries, some off-the-ice issues, just some things that everyone goes through in life.
Yeah.
It's just tough. So we're rooting for him to bounce back and everything. But I think that's a solid pick is Montreal. So, Kenny, who is your 6th and final pick?
Last pick, Minnesota Wild.
All right.
Shout out Matt Zuccarello.
Yes, he's still there.
He's still
kicking.
there.
Yeah.
So
Go get your jersey out.
Yeah.
jersey on.
Minnesota last year, they were kind of an interesting team. They had 87 points. They were fringe playoffs for a little bit. I remember they were in contention. They pulled their goalie in overtime. Do you remember that, guys, when they pulled their goalie in overtime to try to get that extra point?
Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah.
So
That's why I'm taking them, because they have grit.
They have some grit. I think
Didn't that kind of hurt the Wings though?
What is that?
Didn't that end up hurting the Wings though?
No, they're in the Western Conference.
Didn't
so
affect
they're
them at
not
all,
too much,
man.
but-
You know, Pop?
Yeah,
So-
that's my bad.
So it was. I'm curious to see what Montreal does. Minnesota does. They got Kirill Kaprizov, who's a stud. They got. I don't know who their goalie's gonna be this year, but
Yeah, I think they have a lot of like under the radar people.
they got Matt Boldy, who is an absolute dog. So I'm very curious to see how Minnesota does this year. So
They're gonna need Swayman.
yes. So so that's the first 6 picks of our teams for the points. So now we're going to move on to the players. All right, so now for the final 4 pieces of each of our points team. It is, again, just based off of points. It doesn't matter if it's goals or assists, just total points to all contribute to the scoring system. So, Andy, you were the 4th overall pick in the team, so you get the 1st overall pick in player. So who is the first player you are taking?
This is probably pretty obvious, but obviously McDavid.
All right, and last year, Connor McDavid had 132 points. He had 32 goals. He had 100 assists. You think he's going to be able to follow that up?
Yep, I think he'll be right at the top again, just like he has been for his whole career, and he probably will be for the rest of it.
With the 2nd overall pick, I will be taking Nathan McKinnon. So I'm taking McKinnon because obviously I think he's top 3 best player in the world, but also because I'm rooting for him. He's just a very easy guy to cheer on. You know, when we talk about, someone asked me the other day, a non-hockey person asked me the other day, who's my favorite player? And I was like, thinking, because I just think the Red Wings, and obviously recent years it's been the Leafs, but I'm like, maybe McKinnon. I think McKinnon's
my
my favorite
answer.
player. So he is my first pick. So Ty, you are up next. Who is your first player of your draft?
I'll take Draisaitl.
Draisaitl. That's a very good
It's the
pick.
second time today you stole something from me. You took the Oilers, and then you took Draisaitl.
Yeah.
Well, Draisaitl last year had 106 points. You know, that guy is just the definition of a playoff performer. Obviously, I'm not focusing on playoffs, but having, Connor McDavid as your power play guy or line mate, you're going to get points, whether it's a phantom assist but Leon Draisaitl is so good that he will get so many points on his own without McDavid. So I think that's a very solid pick. So, all right,
Thanks,
Ken,
guys.
you got the next 2 picks. So who is your first and second pick in the players draft?
I think shockingly, I'm going to take Pasternak.
All right. David Pasternak. Last year he had 110 points. He was 5th overall in the NHL in points, so I don't think that's that much of a shock. He's good. I mean, he had 47 goals, almost 50 goals, and 63 assists. He runs that team's offense, so I don't think that's that shock. But I think it's a great pick. So you are coming back with a next pick. Who are you taking with the 5th overall pick?
I really don't want to, but I think I'm going to take Austin Matthews here.
Wow. All right. Austin Matthews off of a 69 goal season. Yeah, nice. So he almost had 70 goals. First time would have been done in decades and decades. So maybe since the 80s or 90s. So you think obviously we're just counting points. He did have 107 last year. He has the C on his chest now. I think that's a pretty solid pick. So Ty, who is your second pick?
Well, I was preparing to take the bread man, but Kucherov's still there, so I'll take Kucherov.
Wow, I did not even think about that. Nikita Kucherov actually led the league in points last year with 144 points. Him and McDavid both got 100 assists. The next closest was 89 with McKinnon, and then after that, 71 from Panarin. So,
I think he's going to fall off without Stamkos.
really?
Yeah.
Well, Kucherov does get a lot of power play points. He got 53 of his 144 power play points last year. So
Even if he falls off, he still gets 100 points.
Maybe.
It's a very good. That would be
You know.
a third of his points last year.
That's a very good point. You got to factor in injuries.
I just did. I gave him 44 less points.
So my next pick, I'm taking William Nylander. I think Willie, he's going to be, they told him today in training camp that he's going to be playing center. I think he's going to have a more dynamic role. I think he's going to take a step forward. He's got the contract. He should feel comfortable. I think he is ready to go. So I'm taking William Nylander. So Andy, you got the next 2 picks. You obviously got McDavid. Who are your second and third picks?
Yeah, Nylander was a great pick. I was going to take him. I think he'll lead the Leafs in points this year. I'll take Cale Makar. Obviously, I think that means he'll lead the league, the defenseman, in points. But I do think he'll be up there regardless for forwards as well, just overall.
Just the best skater ever. Like I mean McKinnon. I take that back. McKinnon's the best skater in my opinion. But Makar, like when me and Andrew like look up posts and highlights to like post on Instagram and social media, that guy just skates like so effortlessly, and he's so strong. Like he always finds. I mean, he's the quarterback of that power play. I think it's a very solid pick. So, who is your third pick?
This one's lower on the list. I'll go Jason Robertson.
Interesting. Okay.
Dallas obviously is a good team. They're going to be right in the mix. He's a good young player. I don't think he's getting more and more attention consistently. I feel like last year a lot of people were talking about him more than previously. But I think he'll take another step this year and he'll be one of the top players in the league.
I like that pick. That last year he was 27th in the league with 80 points. So I think he's going to take a step forward. But I think that's a good pick. So my next pick, I will be taking JT Miller. So JT Miller had 103 points last year. He was 9th in the league. I think with Vancouver, like we talked about earlier, keeping that momentum from last year's success and everything, I think that he was probably their best player consistently. I mean, Pettersson was really good, but he kind of had a slow start. JT Miller is going to keep going. He plays that first line center. I think he will be a great solid third pick. So, Ty, who is your third pick?
I'll take Kaprizov.
Solid. I think that's a good pick. Like we said, we don't really know where where Minnesota's going. It's the second time I've done that with those 2 teams, but we don't exactly know where Minnesota's going to be, but Kaprizov's going to be at the head of the pack of that team regardless. So, Kenny, you have the next 2 picks. Who are your 2 picks for this draft?
Surprised he's still there. I'll take Panarin.
Wow, yeah, he is. All right, so you're taking the bread man.
Yep.
Bread man.
The reason Panarin, he had 120 points last year. He was 4th in the NHL. I don't know. I feel like everything, I always saw these clips of just bounces and everything with him. I mean, it's hard to get 120 bounces. He's one of the best players in the league. So, but I think that's a solid pick. So, and then you're following it up with your last pick.
Give me the hometown guy, Sebastian Aho.
Aho? Okay.
Which one?
There are 2 Sebastian Ahos in the NHL. Which one we count?
The Canes one.
But
See, there's 2 Elias Petterssons in the same team now.
yeah, that's crazy too.
I don't even know how to refer to one. The one that you're more used to, Elias Pettersson,
Number 40.
number
Elias?
40. He has just Pettersson on the back, but the other one now says E. Pettersson.
Damn. That's crazy.
That's how they're writing. That's what I saw.
They can both just say Patterson.
Yeah.
They're different numbers.
That's true.
Figure it out on NHL.
All right, Ty, who is your 4th and final pick?
I think I gotta take Rantanen.
Rantanen, okay.
Yeah.
What do you mean you have to? Look at that. That's a great, solid 4th pick.
He's on my fantasy team.
There you go. So, he's right there with McKinnon, Makar. That Colorado team is just loaded,
They're stacked.
So, all right, that's a good pick. My next and last pick, man, I think I have to go with Evan Bouchard. The reason I'm going with him is because he is on a contract year. He's going to be performing to get that extra paycheck. He is the top defenseman power play runner of that Edmonton team. That Edmonton team is going to come back hungry. I like that pick a lot. So, Andy, who is your last pick? There's someone still available, and I'm very, very curious if you're going to take him.
The one that I'm going to take is on the third screenshot.
Wow. We're leaving this guy off the board.
Give me a second here. I'm the last pick of this whole thing. Are you looking at someone from the second?
I'm on the laptop, so I can't see. But
well, anyways, I'm taking Jack Hughes.
Nice.
Similar storyline to Jason Robertson. My last pick. Younger guys, but now they're 23, 24 years old. So they're just further along in their career. I think New Jersey, like I previously said about their team, will have an up year. And I think that if they're doing well, that means he's probably doing well too, because he's going to be, one of their top guys, if not the top guy. So he's not just a 20-year-old anymore. He's not a rookie anymore. He's one of those guys that's led at every level, and I think he'll take another step this year in the NHL.
I like that pick.
I think it's a very good pick. Good pick, Andy.
Who did you think I was going to take, Griff?
I thought I would have bet money that you were going to say Braden Point or Mitch Marner, but
I can't take Marner.
some of the names of the guys that were left off was Sidney Crosby, who had 94 points last year. Also, Quinn Hughes, who had 92 points. Braden Point, Mitch Marner, Roman Josi. These are some big names.
Damn, so you think Jack Hughes is going to be better than Quinn Hughes?
Totally different. I mean, for point guys, yes, but you have a forward and a D. You have two totally different teams, two totally different.
Quinn had more points last year.
I agree. But I don't know if
You
Quinn
have
will
to agree.
get that same way. I mean, I'm just saying.
I agree too.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. I don't think that it'll be even really close if they can do what they're going to do.
Interesting.
So that was the end of our draft. So we'll be following along all year with keeping track of who's in the lead, following along, and we'll be making some graphics. So if you want to see the standings and how things are going, we'll be posting on our Instagram at the Sawyer Brothers Show or our other Instagram, Sawyer Development Institute. So yeah, we'll be following along. We hope you enjoyed. We're gonna be posting some more episodes as we get back into hockey mode and hockey season. So yeah, we appreciate you guys listening.